Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Scott Luton here with you on Supply Chain Now. Welcome to today's live stream. Folks, today on Breaking News Now, here's a look at some of the latest industry headlines. Boeing has announced that it's delivered 55 planes in September, which means it's on a pace to deliver the most planes in a year since way back in 2018. Kelly Blue Book says that the average cost of a new car in the U.S. has risen above, this is going to be painful, above the $50,000 mark for the first time ever. Man. And then lastly, Canada Post, well, it's resumed deliveries. That's much better news, as the labor union strike has shifted from a countrywide strike to rotating strikes, possibly indicating some progress in the ongoing negotiations. But here today on Breaking News Now, we're going to be featuring key takeaways and perspectives on an interesting recent event, big event, focused on the supply chain ecosystem across the beautiful country of Panama, as well as the greater region. We're going to gain insights from two supply chain leaders that spoke and engaged in the Panama Supply Chain Forum, which was held in September. So joining us today on Breaking News Now, right here on Supply Chain Now, let's welcome in Sofia Rivas Herrera, CEO of Supply Chain Now in Espanol, and Demosthenes Perez, Chief Commercial Officer of the IPL Group and founder of the Panama Supply Chain Forum. Hey, Sofia, how you doing?
I'm doing great
It's so
and
good.
very excited to be here.
Both same times 2 times 10, and you're bringing great friends, great people with you. Demo, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Very happy to be here, man.
We are too. It's been too long.
Yeah.
Well, we brought an incredible 1-2 punch with Sofia and Demo, and I want to start here on this edition of Breaking News Now. I want to level set a little bit. So, Demo, as I mentioned with our audience out there, you founded this incredible event that 400 leaders from around the world came to last month. Tell us about the Panama Supply Chain Forum and what its mission is.
Thank you, Scott. Well, this Panama Supply Chain Forum started because Daniel and I, which is my business partner, we identify a need in this market. You know, Panama is all about a maritime industry, port industry, and the canal, of course. So we get together in 2012 in the Maritime Chamber, and we supported an event in the in the Maritime Chamber
Yep.
called the Panama Logistics Forum. And after 2 or 3 editions, we identified that there was no supply chain event related in this market in Central America. So we decided to start our own event, and first edition was in 2019. It was a pretty good event.
Yeah.
We did it ourselves without not too much support, no organization behind us at that time. But it was a great event. And again, the idea is to create a platform for executives to join, to come together, to do a very high level networking. And that is actually what has been happening these years. 2025 was a complete success. We had a lot of people coming in. We had Sofia, of course, our rising star here, and we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of great context and content and contacts during that event. So we're pretty happy with the results. It's a lot of work behind it, but we enjoy it.
Well, I've heard nothing but the best, incredible feedback from, I bet I've spoken to over a dozen people since the event wrapped, including, of course, Sofia. And Sofia, we're going to play a video here in a second, but just respond to some of what we heard there from Demo, because you've been a big fan of the experience at the forum, right?
And I don't say this a lot because I do go to a lot of events, but there are very few that really are like the whole rounded experience that gives you all these things that Demo mentioned, which, for example, a very high level networking is something that you rarely see in an event, especially in massive ones where, I don't know, like more than 6,000 people at the same time. That's impossible to have quality conversations and build quality relationships. And I would say like Panama Supply Chain Forum for us was, first, we're so grateful for Demo and his team, because this is the first time that Supply Chain Now in Espanol is a media partner of an event. So it was one, so rewarding to see our logo in the big screen, and also all the content that we did previously, during, and after. I was telling part of the team, like, yes, we want to do it like kind of real time, and we were pushing a lot so that the content was there throughout the event. But yeah, we did amazing interviews. We are launching an episode with Juan de Mostenes, the manager of the event, which will be available next week. And it's kind of looking back into the how planning and the logistics of the event, previous and after,
Love
previous,
it.
during, and after. So that will be an amazing episode, and we're thrilled about the experience. But yeah, another thing I would say is like, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And we were just mentioning this in the pre-show, right?
Yeah.
But this is something that is very rare in supply chain events, and I loved it, really.
I did. You know what? You've just given me a serious case of FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. I missed out. So, but folks, we're going to continue on with Sofia and Dimo here in a second, but I want to make sure y'all get a chance. You can venture over to learn more at PanamaSupplyChainForum.com. It's just that easy. You'll see this up at the top. And I'm sure Dimo extends his hearty invitation for y'all to join us in 2026. And by the way, speaking of great people, Andrea is with us. That's my sister. And go Dimo. I love that. Okay. So, Sofia, let's share a little. By the way, I loved your coverage from what I've seen of it. And I know there's more coming out, like you've just mentioned. But we got a little video here that we're going to share. Tee this video up. What are we about to see?
So we normally do these kind of behind the scenes video of every event. And this one highlights from the moment we landed in Panama, kind of a breakfast that we had together with Dimo and his team. The first time we met Daniel, which, by the way, I told him, like, I want to know which coffee you drink in the morning, because that's the one that I want. He's so high energy and so fun to be around. But well, then you see footage of the event itself, of the exhibition floor, that is a couple of booths that are intended for you to really know the brand, really know the sponsor, and so on. And also parts of the interviews that we did, I would call it the logistics tour that we did on the second day, which is kind of the visiting Disneyland for people in supply chain. So you'll see it, but it's kind of all these bits and pieces that we experienced, and that made this whole event such a great one.
Love it.
If I can add something, that tour, Scott, the idea of that tour was that the participants discover how easy it is to move into the Panama Supply Logistics platform, because the tour started in a port on the Pacific side and ended up on the port on the Atlantic side of Panama. So they crossed the country as the same as a container does, right? Or a ship does. That was the idea behind it.
I like it.
And to go to different areas, they went to visit IPL, they went to visit the port, they went to visit the canal, the expanded canal, which is very cool. So the idea of the tour was that specifically, just to experience what is it for real, what happens on this platform.
I love it. I love it. And Andrea, I'm not going to let you down. She says, you should go to Panama. I hope to be there soon, maybe even before next year's event.
Oh, yeah, you will.
Take a big old, the whole team. All right, so let's do this. Amanda and Joshua, big thanks behind the scenes for all the great production work. Can you share the wonderful video that Sofia just teed up for us?
Yeah, it is. But it's fun. I love it.
Después de 3 siglos de conocer a Ramón en LinkedIn, por fin nos estamos viendo en persona, aquí en su, ¿cómo dijiste? Pedacito de tierra.
Pedacito de tierra.
Sí.
1111. 5 limones llamando a medio limón.
Estamos aquí en PSA Panamá. Muy emocionados. Es el Epcot de el mundo logístico. Es una de nuestras primeras paradas y todo para que tus paquetitos lleguen a ti. Supply Chain en español.
La directora de los
Esto es Supply Chain Now en español y estamos en SSA Marine. No, otra vez. Esto es Supply Chain Now en español. Este es el día 2 de Panama Supply Chain Forum y estamos ahora en SSA Marine MIT, en la sala de control, donde tenemos diferentes controladores que están monitoreando la carga y descarga de los barcos y los contenedores a la yarda. Entonces, súper interesante.
La información tiene que entrar limpia. Si entra basura, sacamos basura. No podemos tener carga mal dimensionada o muy pesada. Porque si no, a la hora de salir, te puede salir un contenedor con 100 metros cúbicos cuando caben 70. Dice, espérate, aquí en el sistema algo pasó, algo no se midió. Claro. Esto sí es picking de verdad.
Well done, Sofia and Andrea and the whole team over at Supply Chain Now en Español. And Demo, what a cool experience to bake all of that into this outstanding event. And two quick thoughts. I agree, T Squared, who holds down the fort for us on YouTube. He says, good nourishment here. I'm with you, T Squared. And secondly, I've got a whole new reason to continue to brush up on my Spanish, which I promise I will do. So let's keep driving. Great stuff there, Sofia. Great stuff. So both of y'all already shared a couple of reflections and observations on the event itself. I want to dive a little bit deeper. So when you think of the event and all the keynotes and conversations, I think I spied our good friend Enrique Alvarez in that video and many, many others. When you think of all of that, Sofia, what's a key takeaway or two that comes to your mind?
I think the importance of building an agenda that makes sense not only in the present time, but for the future time. That's something that matters a lot. And trying to look into things that are tangible and that you can take real learnings and apply them to whatever you're doing. That's something that I really appreciated. Because it's not just like high level conversations of, I'll call it bluff, but really sharing what is going on and the real things that happen in everyone's company. I think the speakers kept it very real, and that is something that's fresh air, right? Because sometimes it's just maintaining within the limits of what can be said,
right,
corporate wise. So it's really, I really think that they kept it real and share those things with us.
Outstanding. And to be able to package all of that you just shared and then go out and visit the Panama Canal, which is one of the most.
That's amazing. And I went, like, we stayed a couple of days more, and I went that second time because I just couldn't get enough of the Panama Canal.
Well, so that's outstanding. Demo, what's some of the feedback you've gotten, and what were some of your own here in this third annual event? What were some of your own eureka moments or observations?
Well, first, I need to say thank you to Sofia because my main role at the event is to create the content. I create the agenda. I more or less try to put everything together, and one of the big differentiator I believe is that I am on the business. I'm on the trenches every day, and I'm passionate about this. So what I try to do is to create a content that it will be uh, I would like to, right? So that's the first takeaway, and we have the extraordinary lucky to make it. And the other thing is that having these people coming to join, I met a couple of CEOs of companies that I never expect they to come. They just introduce themselves in the event. So that's for me the biggest honor. So they came not because of the event is known, it's because of the content of the event, the speakers that we bring, and the level of the conversations to be had during the event was great. So this is my major achievement on this, having these very thoughtful conversations. And what I hear from some of the sponsors, they close some deals, which is
Okay.
great. It's great for us. Two of the main sponsors closed deals. They told us, and many leads for the other ones. So this is part of how we do this. This very high level networking. I got two invitations to other two events after that because of very cool, very cool.
Love that, Demo. And Sophia, I loved your comment about how the keynote speakers and the conversations, they kept it real. And if there's anything we need to be doing in global supply chain conversations right now, it is keeping it real, keeping it frank. That's going to help us solve old, new problems with old and new ideas for sure, while investing and deepening the critical relationships that powers industry everywhere. So, Demo, if I'm not mistaken, you grew up in Panama,
Yes.
and now you've been in Panama City, I think, for about 25 years. I wasn't supposed to say how many, Demo, because we don't go past 20 around here. You've certainly become a go-to resource for many, many supply chain leaders. So I've got a question for you, and then we'll get Sophia to comment as well. But Demo, what's one or two things that you wish more business and supply chain leaders would know about the industry landscape in Panama and the greater region?
Well, the first one will be that don't treat Panama as just another Latin American node, because Panama is a critical checkpoint for global supply chains.
Yep.
And whatever happened here will affect global commerce. So just remember what happened last year with the lower levels of the water reservoirs of the canal. That was a huge impact to the industry. Of course, the country had a lot of resilience, and a lot of the cargo was moved through the other ways, by the train or by the highways. But whatever happened here will have certain impact on global commerce. So that's why I believe that we should tell to the industry, this is not about us, because Panama is a very, very small country. We are just like 4 million people here, a little more. But the impact on the global commerce is way bigger.
Right.
So that's one of the topics that I think people need to understand. And the other thing is that it's all about connectivity, right? Being in the middle of the continent, and as Sofia and the rest of the gang that made the tour did, in 55 minutes, you can go from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, and then go back in the afternoon. So that's something that is very unique. So connectivity and how those nodes in the Pacific and Atlantic are interconnected, I think is very important, especially these days with all what is happening, especially in the U.S. Companies are trying to find ways to become more effective, even though with tariffs and other things. So that's for another episode. But people must understand why Panama, or how Panama works in benefit of their business, right?
No doubt. And on your first point there, I think 6% of global maritime trade
more
all
or less.
passes through the Panama Canal. Wow. And y'all got to tour it. I'm so jealous, Sofia. Sofia, what would you add? Being there, boots on ground. I bet you did that 55-minute trek from the Pacific to the Atlantic Ocean. That's cool. Of course, you visited the canal. Looks like you moderated events. You interviewed a lot of movers and shakers there. What would you add about what folks really need to know about the beautiful country of Panama and its industry there?
Well, I think beyond being this logistics hub and enabler for global commerce, I would say that it has a lot of nature and culture that perhaps, and every time I travel somewhere, I try to ask locals and become a local myself and learn about everything there as much as I can, right? Because obviously we don't live there, but if I could, then maybe that would be an amazing experience, right? But I would say and maybe this will be, because I learned that this area of Panama is not that very liked among Panama, but Chiriquí, and this high area of Panama that is known for its coffee and chocolate and so on. That's some place that I would like to visit when I come back. And I did taste the chocolate and the coffee, and it's really good. And also some rum, because there was I don't know. Well, he was an attendee at the event, and he had a booth in the cocktail that we had with his rum. And maybe I was telling him, maybe next year we could do a factory visit to see how rum is made as well, because that could be such a cool tour as well. But I'd say food-wise, culture-wise, music-wise even, Panama has a lot to offer as well. And yeah, I need to go again.
I do coffee, chocolate, and rum. You had me at all three of those, Sofia, and of course, a great event. So speaking of, you said I think you concluded your response there that you need to go again. Well, everyone's going to have opportunity to do that, and I want to, with this next couple of questions, I want to peer into the future just a smidge. So, Demo, tell us about what lies ahead for the Panama Supply Chain Forum in 2026, because it's going to be here in just a few more months, huh?
Yes. We started planning already. The event will be in July 22nd to 23rd. We take a lot of the feedback that we get from Sofia and the other attendees. We are adding half day for more expositions and simulations for companies to come. We already have proposals from speakers. That's kind of weird. And we are planning an amazing experience related to the canal. I can tell you more, but it will be something out of this world for a logistician like us.
Okay.
And I already know, but if you tune in to our new episode next week with Juan Demo, then maybe you'll get that spoiler. But if you don't listen to it, you'll never know until you're in the event.
So, folks, it sounds like to me that you definitely need to venture over to PanamaSupplyChainForum.com and get ready to register and get ready for all the updates that are coming. And Demo, along those lines, how can folks track you down and connect with you?
I'm always on LinkedIn. You can find me, Demo Perez, or Demosthenes Perez is my name. I try to be as much active as my daily routine allowed me, but I'm always connecting and happy to connect with your audience, and we can do something here very cool next year.
Outstanding. I'm looking forward to it already. Now, Sofia, I got a little different question for you. I love the cool things you're doing at Supply Chain Now in Espanol, of course, with your power partner, Andrea, who some folks may have seen her earlier comments. So what's coming up next, Sofia?
Well, many things, but one of the upcoming events that we have is a webinar with our partner Thai, and it's going to be all about traceability and visibility, specifically for Mexico and Latin American countries, as we have a lot of, I would say, insecurity issues with our truckloads, especially on the road. So how can we prevent these kind of events and reduce risk with certain technology and best practices? And that's what we will be sharing in this event. Tomorrow, we launch our episode with Ties, where you'll get to know Jose Suarez and his story, which is amazing. It all started, his logistics story started in Australia, and he's from Mexico, but he's all over the place. And he shares about not only the technology, but like what it actually means to reduce risk. And well, you have like this teaser of how he speaks, how he shares stories, and you'll get that in the webinar as well, and a chance to actually share and connect with him. So please attend this amazing webinar.
Outstanding. We dropped a link to the webinar in the session. We've also dropped the link to connecting with Demo on LinkedIn right there. You want to click away. And Sofia, that begs the $1 billion question. How can folks connect with you, my friend?
Also through LinkedIn. If I don't reply your first message, please send me a second one, okay? But do not ask me, how am I, okay? Please send me what you want. Please, because sometimes they leave it like, how are you? And I reply, and then they never reply to me. So I don't know what happened. So please do tell me like, hey, I want to do this, or I need your help with this, and then we can do stuff together.
So no fluff is what Sofia is demanding. No
please
fluff.
Be direct with me, please.
State your intentions and don't ghost. So check that out. Connect with Sofia, connect with Demo. Make sure you follow them across social media. Make sure you check out Supply Chain Out in Espanol. Great work going on there. Make sure you check out Panama Supply Chain Forum. Congrats, Demo, to you and your whole team for, it sounds like, by all accounts, a wonderfully successful third-year event. And I look forward to being there in person for the fourth one. How's that sound, Demo?
Yes.
All right. Excellent. Well, I want to share one more thing, folks. One more thing. So we've been talking, of course, about supply chain and resources, and of course, freight. Freight's kind of important in global supply chain. And I want to invite you to check out one of our latest Supply Chain Now blog articles, where Bart DeMonk writes on the ever-evolving world of freight and audit payment. Tons of innovation going on there in the world of FAP. You can check it out via the link we just dropped right there on the chat. And how about that Hollywood headshot there with Bart? Man, jealous.
I think I know him.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I want to thank, what an incredible panel here. I want to thank again Sofia Rivas Herrera with Supply Chain Now in Espanol. My dear friend, Sofia, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us, Scott.
You bet. And Demosthenes Perez, great to see you here today. I admire the work y'all both are doing, and congrats again on a successful event, bringing the world together. And we need a lot more of that, Demo. So great to have you here today.
Thank you, my friend. Great opportunity, and thanks for the chance to talk a little about this event we do with very, very high level of conscious, and we are 4, just to say that.
Wow.
We're just 4 people to do this. So next year will be more, but till now it's a family business, as Sofia said.
Well, you all must wear capes to get that much done with a team of 4. But regardless, folks, hopefully you enjoyed and learned from this conversation as much as I have. Hey, with the pace of global business and that velocity, it's only getting faster and faster. You got to stay informed by turning to trusted sources of sound information and analysis. Connect and follow Demo, Sofia, and Supply Chain Now to stay abreast of news you can use. And with all that said, Scott Luton here on behalf of the Supply Chain Now team, challenging you, do good, give forward, be the change that's needed. We'll see you next time right back here on Supply Chain Now. Thanks, everybody.